The statistics or the actuarial numbers of population affect the climate.
Population is one of the main drivers of climate change. So Rachel wrote a very important report that talks about this. So when it's climate change, there are individual emitters, and there's a lot of us doing the emitting. And so the people who have the highest fertility rate, like in Niger, are doing almost no emitting, right? So
they burn some charcoal now and then.
Well, so the average Nigerian emits 0.1 metric tons of carbon annually. How many does the average American emit?
I did that with my coffee this morning.
Yeah, 16 metric tons is
So
what the average.
160 times.
Yeah, exactly. And so our two kids are way more problematic. The Nigerians with an average 7 children are not the problem when it comes to climate change.
So should we have policies that penalize people for having extra kids in the developed world?
So I do think that we should at least consider it.
Well, at least consider it is like do it.
One of the things that we could do that's kind of least policy-ish is we could encourage our culture and our norms to change.
All right, speaking of underground cities,
yes.
You ready me to dive into this?
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, imagine with me for a moment that you are a man living in Turkey and you want to go down to your basement and you want to renovate your basement a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start knocking down a wall
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly that wall reveals a tunnel.
I would love that.
I mean, it'd be kind of dope,
I
right?
would love that.
Okay. That is the true story of this man. And in 1963 in Turkey, he is renovating his basement, knocks down a door, opens up, and I'm going to send you a photo. Imagine you find an underground city that is not just one room, that is not just one hallway, but is 18 stories deep. That is 280 feet deep.
What?
The Statue of Liberty is 300. They're talking 280 feet. 18 stories. I'm going to give you a map of how big this thing is.
That dude's estimate was for sure off.
Dude, Zillow's going to go crazy after this.
That's so sick.
Oh my
I
goodness.
just sent you the map.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is the city of Deirin-Kuyu. Deirin-Kuyu, the world's greatest hidden city ever found.
Oh,
It was
cool.
discovered in 1963, but obviously it goes way back farther than that. Apparently, they say this is 18th century is when this started, right? But absolutely incredible. This place had everything. It was fully what they call a fully engineered underground metropolis. 18 stories, could shelter up to 20,000 people
Crazy.
plus livestock.
Oh my word.
And it is so advanced. They had bedrooms, they had kitchens, food storage, grain silos, wine presses, churches, schools, wells, animal stables, over 5,000 ventilation wells and meeting halls within this place.
So
Wow.
they're planning on being up in there for a while.
Well, it's probably
That's the
Christians
thing. This isn't
escaping persecution, right?
No.
a lot of a lot of it was, and they don't know the origins of why this was specifically used. There's so many different variations because something like this magnitude, it had to have taken a long time over generations and generations.
Yeah.
So the use has changed over time. A lot of people. There were Arab raids, regional wars, religious persecution, political unrest. And that's the type of thing, what you said, Andrew. It wasn't one of these things where like, oh, our enemies are coming, let's go hide for a day.
Yeah.
This is something they had fully prepared.
Like generations were
They
thinking about this.
could live down there for months,
Oh my
if not
goodness.
years. And they had, even experts now don't realize how they did their ventilation so well.
Yeah.
Like they
Crazy.
don't understand it. And it's not even fully explored yet because there are doors that are sealed that they can't open or that are unstable, so they don't want to open.
Wow.
That's weird.
And I sent you a picture of that the door.
Yeah.
Their mechanics are insane because they would have it where it would only lock from the inside. And so they would find a formation or build a formation where they rolled it, it would also be pressed against another rock. So when they rolled it
man.
in place, you can only open it from the inside.
Wow.
So when they had people coming in, not only was it very narrow, you couldn't get in there to barricade that door and, break it down, it's a one person tunnel
Yeah.
at that point, very narrow, shuts it down. And then if you do get past that, they have hundreds of other doors that they can hide behind. It was just, it's fascinating.
It's like a modern submarine, like how they do like water lockout.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when whole villages would go under there were several entrances that they found that existed in houses, in barns, and in churches. And so there was a bunch of entrances all over the place that they had no idea. It's still not all discovered. They asked, like, where did the rocks go? Like, because it was like volcanic rock. It's like this. I mean, they said it's millions of cubic feet of volcanic rock, and it's like there's no spoil pile.
That was
There's
excavated.
yeah. It's like, where did that go? How did they use that? What did they do? I mean, that just goes to show, like, from the 18th century, 8th century. It's like how they used all that stuff. It blows your mind.
Well, so I think Graham Hancock did an episode on this on his Ancient
Oh, really?
Apocalypse. And I don't know if it was on that, but one theory is that this was actually made pre-flood. So this was like a safe haven for the flood. And it's you can go back to the Göbekli Tepe to where it's like it kind of shows like.
Once again, in Idaho, right, we have a crazy man who just decided that today was the day. Now, I want to congratulate the citizen who had his firearm and opened fire on that man, okay? Because that forced him to retreat, giving the police more time and giving the innocent bystanders more time to hide and do whatever they have to do. Now, it says here that the man saw what was going on and he stayed and returned fire at the shooter to help the injured workers, right? Now, all of this was seen by a construction worker that was standing right across the street or something like that. Listen, number one, I think that all cities, all states, we all should be able to carry CCW, open carry, however you want to put it, because citizens are the people who step up and stop these people, the maniacs, before they can cause more damage. The average time for a police officer to go from wherever they are to wherever the situation is about 2 to 3 minutes. That's a long time, especially if you're shot already or injured or broken arm or car accident, whatever it may be, okay? So I'm just saying situations like this will continue to happen over and over and over, especially when these criminals, these psychopaths know that the citizens are not armed. In the states where the citizens are armed, this shit is minute. Situations like this are very minute because the criminal has to think twice. Everybody's armed. Either that or when it's concealed carry, you don't know who may be armed. So it gives the criminal something to think about. Therefore, the crimes are a little bit lower. So whatever I say is not the law, it's just my opinion. But this type of stuff is going to continue to happen, man. Condolences to everybody that lost their lives, your families, the people who survived. I hope you get well soon. I feel bad because I feel like this type of shit is going to continue to happen here.
Vaccine changed its broad recommendations on COVID-19 vaccines today. Are you comfortable with that change, or would you like to see Americans take the vaccines that were developed under your tenure?
Yeah. Well, the vaccines, according to a lot of people, and if you look at George said, have had a tremendous, Operation Warp Speed. It was just according to just about everybody, was one of the greatest things that any president has ever done in this country. So we're very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. I'm also very proud of Regeneron and some of the things that came out of, all of the labs and all of the research that we've done. So I don't know exactly what the final determination is, but I had the vaccine. I was very happy.
I have really good
Here
news.
I am, right?
Today, our nation has achieved a medical miracle. We have delivered a safe and effective vaccine in just 9 months. This is one of the greatest scientific accomplishments in history. It will save millions of lives and soon end the pandemic once and for all. I am thrilled to report that the FDA has authorized the Pfizer vaccine. We have given Pfizer and other companies a great deal of money, hoping this would be the outcome, and it was. On behalf of the American people, I'd like to thank all of the brilliant scientists, technicians, doctors, and workers who made this all possible. Pfizer and Moderna have announced their vaccine is approximately 95% effective, far exceeding expectations. These vaccines are also very safe. American citizens participated in clinical trials that were far larger than normal. The dedicated and independent experts at the FDA meticulously studied the results of the trials, and it has now passed the gold standard of safety. Through Operation Warp Speed, my administration provided a total of $14 billion to accelerate vaccine development and to manufacture all of the top candidates in advance. This included a nearly $2 billion investment in Pfizer to produce 100 million doses of their vaccine, with an option to produce 500 million additional doses. And I'm proud to say that we have made sure that this vaccine will be free for all Americans. Through our partnership with FedEx and UPS, we have already begun shipping the vaccine to every state and zip code in the country. The first vaccine will be administered in less than 24 hours. The governors decide where the vaccines will go in their state and who will.
Including, I guess, on December 21st, we took care of Joe Biden because he got his shot. He got his vaccine. He forgot. It shows you how unpainful that vaccine shot is. So everybody go get your shot.
It works incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly well, and I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it, and a lot of those people voted for me, frankly. But, you know, again, we have our freedoms, and we have to live by that, and I agree with that also. But it's a great vaccine, it's a safe vaccine, and it's something that works.
I recommend you take it, but I also believe in your freedoms 100%.
When you have the vaccine, people that do, and it's a very small number relatively, but people that do get it get better much quicker. And it's a very important thing to know. They don't get nearly as sick, and they get better. Lindsey Graham's an example. He said, if I didn't have this vaccine, I would have died.
And
Okay, so the president made news.
do you agree with that? Right?
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so
I believe totally in your
don't,
freedoms.
don't,
I do.
don't.
You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But you got, no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine.
The vaccines do work, and they are effective. And here's my thing. I think I saved many, I don't think, I know, I saved millions and millions of lives throughout the world. We could have had another Spanish flu. We could have had, in 1917, close to 100 million people died, they say. But it was really bad. And now other countries are using our vaccines, and, they're tremendously successful.
You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives. Take credit. Don't let them take that away from you.
Kind of statement last night, but kudos to Sean. People listen to the people who watch his show trust his judgment, and kudos to him for saying that the vaccine will keep you from being killed. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. And I don't know how he got there, but I think that was his version of a public service.
I totally agree. And, never mind the fact that this is the same man and the same network that was trying to get credit to and for Donald Trump for starting what he called Operation Warp Speed, for pushing the pharmaceutical companies to get the vaccine quickly. I mean, that was a Donald Trump project and, you know, how it was executed and dispersed around the country, that was definitely a Biden project. But can you think of any sort of conservative host, media figure who's closer to Donald Trump or had been historically than Sean Hannity? I can't. My question for you, Allison, is does Sean Hannity have Tucker Carlson's phone number? And do you think he...
Well, because we were all programmed with this before we had the ability to think. So the foundation of our understanding of this world is globe, right? And mixed in with that, flat Earth is the dumbest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
So that programming, my earliest school memory, I've told the story a million times, is a teacher brought us outside. We're like first grade, maybe. I don't even think, maybe it was kindergarten. I don't even remember. And he was teaching us about gravity with a bucket of water on a rope. And I went to the teacher. He had a globe out there on the brick wall. And I said, isn't the water on the outside of the globe? How is this gravity? And the teacher goes like this, you know, he goes over his textbook. He shows me the highlighted text. It was highlighted in like many teachers had used this book. And he goes, this is how they're telling me to teach it. So that's how I'm going to teach it.
Yeah.
But you keep asking questions, right? And so why is that my earliest memory? Like, I wasn't a flat earther back then. They talked about how the astronauts could have survived in the capsule, but they were falling for an hour. We could see it. It's like it was barely up and higher than the clouds if it was even that high when it exploded.
Yeah,
but
they said that they
falling for an hour.
And that they died from drowning. You know, that was a big thing in Florida. They said that they did actually, the engineering was so good that, like, you know, they survived until they drowned in the ocean, that type of thing, yeah.
And now, you know, the 6 astronauts that have been identified, same name, most of them. You know, this guy's got his identical twin brother. Everything. The 7th one has been found.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget exactly, what is he? Oh, he's a professional golf player or something. It's crazy. It's crazy.
If not for the fact that we were all taught from kindergarten that the Earth is a spinning ball, none of us today would actually, in our normal sense, just believe or think that we are spinning. Share this with a friend, and if you're interested in knowing more, download the Flat Earth app or visit Flat Earth Dave.
Disturbing things found on the dark web. Joshua Duggar was involved in what was by far the worst incident that happened on TLC's major hit show, 19 Kids and Counting. It was a reality show, and it was basically just showing the lives of what it's like to live with 19 kids in one household. Josh Duggar was one of their oldest kids. Now, before this incident even took place, he was already doing heinous things to girls and his sisters in the early 2000s. However, it wasn't until 2021 until he was found guilty by a federal jury and sentenced to about 12.5 years in prison. And what he was arrested for is really fucked up. Joshua Duggar was arrested by Arkansas police for allegedly having CP on his hard drive. They confiscated 3 devices, 2 of which were clean, 1 obviously wasn't. When the authorities reviewed the hard drive, not only did they find at least 100 images of CP, but they found streamed evidence of one of the worst videos you could possibly watch on the internet, created by Peter Scully. They even discovered that he would frequently visit the dark web, which is probably how he got all the CP. CP was bad enough, which is what I originally thought, but to have the Daisy video is a whole nother level of fucked up. You know, it's disturbingly ironic that his dad pushed for so many like ex-offender registries, and that his son honestly should be at the top of that list. If you want to learn more information about the sketchiness of the Duggars or the church that they were involved in, I'd recommend watching the documentary Shiny Happy People. I kind of wish it dove more into the Duggars' life and less about the church they were involved with, but I think it's still a pretty good watch.
Now the following video comes from a girl named Amy, who writes that one night before going to bed, her little sister was freaking out because apparently she saw someone inside her bathroom.
Where? And tall. He's tall? Do you still see him? Is he still in there? Yeah. Yeah? You want to show me where? In the shower? Okay. Are you sure you saw him? Yeah.
Although no one is there, Amy's sister is shaken up. Understandably, even Amy herself was freaked out by this. There was no way she was making this up, as she knows her sister too well for that. Although pretty creepy, she eventually forgets the whole thing. But fast forward to a couple nights later, and Amy records a video after seeing someone standing in her bathroom. Now, just to clarify, both Amy and her sister share the same bedroom, which is why her sister is seen here. She was dead asleep when this happened, and thankfully so, because while recording this video, Amy gets this.
That literally fell from up there.
Out of nowhere, the smoke detector falls in front of a mirror, and in its reflection, Amy's comforter is seen shifting on its own. It suddenly peels back, as if someone was pulling it open. But as we can see, no one is around to have done that. And it doesn't help that her sister saw a figure standing in the same room where this happened.
Do you still see him? Is he still in there? Yeah. Yeah?
Not much else is known about this incident, except that it scared the living daylights out of Amy. Like all videos, I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. Just how exactly did the comforter lift on its own?
So you don't got detox, understand your body. The human body take a long time to digest food. And the problem is everybody putting food in their body before the body has digested the last meal. That's the problem. The problem is that everybody running around too damn hungry, right? Everybody eating too much. Slow down. But you was trained to think your body needs 3 meals a day. But now they have realized that the body operates better off 1 meal a day. OMAD, right? Simply eating 1 time a day, you can eat whatever you want. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people just full. There ain't no diet.
We're supposed to eat breakfast.
Nah,
breakfast,
you don't need breakfast.
Lunch, dinner.
No, you don't need breakfast. You need energy. The sun up. What you need energy for when you go get the energy from the sun? So the sun up, right? You may get some fruit, something like that, but you don't need no full heavy meal, right? Because certain things your body do. No, when your body is not busy digesting food, then your body can digest bad cells. And they figured this out. They figured out your body start eating itself, right? But it don't just eat the good parts and eat the bad parts.
Every day, thousands of refugees arrive on this shore, hoping to resettle in Europe.
We get mainly people from Syria, also from Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran.
Waiting to help them on the beaches of Greece are the last people the Syrians might expect. Volunteers from Israel.
Our job here is to receive the boats of the refugees that are coming from the Turkish side to the Greek side. There are many, many volunteers on the beach.
I take the map. We have a map that we translate on it in Arabic, explain to them what is the next step. You know, they don't know where they are, okay? So the first thing that I tell them that they are in Lesbos Island in Greece, because some of them, they had like no idea where they are.
After a couple of days of assessing the field, we understood that the biggest need is a way to communicate with the refugees who come. So we brought a team from Israel, which is Arab speaking, and the effect was amazing.
Hearing your language is very important to them, and then getting the instructions where to go, what to do next, what are the next steps, because they have a lot of uncertainty.
And although Israel and Syria are technically at war, none of that matters here on the beach.
Usually when they get to the beach, they're just happy to see people waiting for them, giving them help and food and clothes and medical treatment if they need.
What is the date today? I completely, Thursday. I was completely wrong, wasn't I? I had the dates wrong all this time.
No. No way, bro. What is going on here, guys? Something's up. Something, no! Look at him, guys. No, something is going on here, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is absolutely bizarre, bro. What in the world is going on at this Ellen DeGeneres show, bro? Shh, shut up! Now, I know this was old, but this is absolutely wild, guys. Something is going on here, but nothing is going on here, guys. As you can see, they're having a good time. This is just a show. That's all that this is. Remember, Ellen likes to make jokes like when they scared the diddler with the clown. Remember? Something is up. Now that we see this show later on in life, we look at things differently. You know why? Because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. This is just a TV show. It's all good. Shout out to Ellen DeGeneres. Her show used to be so good. We miss Diddy, right? Something is up, guys. That episode was absolutely strange. Allegedly, this is what people are saying. If you ask me, it was normal. I don't know what's going on in this show. Let me know if you know what's going on in this show.
Why is he talking about his DNA on a lost glove?
I noticed you have this obsession with lost gloves. Look at some of these. I want to put this up. This is one you took, and
yeah. Now
tell me what's going on here. What is this so evocative to you?
Well, first of all, I don't touch them. I just see them and I photograph them. So I have never.
You don't want your DNA on those.
Well, you know, well, it could be a crime scene. And let's not give the cops a break.
It feels to me like they went down into that door somehow.
Well,
and they were grabbing on, and then they were sucked in, and the glove is the only thing telling you, this is me, I was here.
For years, he's posted hundreds of pictures of items left on dirty city streets. But it isn't just adult gloves. He routinely posts baby shoes, kids' mittens, and lost socks. He even joked on TV that millions of fans wait to see whatever new kids' mittens he finds. When it was 2020, that era, he kept doing it while everyone lived online, posting a single glove on a guardrail. He claims his photos are just art, about a city of loneliness. Online feeds claim it's way deeper. People began decoding the street numbers, the license plates of cars, and kids' items, claiming they were coded signals for Hollywood elites. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Why is nobody talking about the full-body, double plotline hidden in the new Hunger Games book? Just stay with me because this will all start to make sense. Or maybe it won't. In the story, a 16-year-old dies in an accident before the games even start. But instead of telling the truth, the Capitol secretly gets another girl, surgically changes her face, and forces her to act like the girl who dies. The crowd never finds out and the show just carries on. Now let's look at who wrote The Hunger Games. Suzanne Collins worked inside the Hollywood studio system for years before writing these books. People online think she included the whole subplot of the girl dying and then being almost cloned or changed because she supposedly saw how the industry changes people behind closed doors. Whether it's fiction or inside whistleblower, why does this former studio writer know the exact process so well? Is this just a story, or did she put the pattern into print? Let me know your thoughts and comments down.
I think firstly, we need to recognize also, not everyone in our community is born again. Not everyone that watches your content, JT. In fact, I would say there is a huge amount of people that watch your content that do not follow Jesus.
Honestly, I hope so. That is the point of a lot of this, is that I made a decision about this a long time ago, especially back on TikTok, is that I could do all Bible-focused content, and it would be for Christians. But my message isn't just for Christians, it's for the lost. It's the sick that need a physician. So honestly, I pray and I hope that's talking about Tartaria and the mud flood and old world buildings. I hope that brings people in to listen, and then they get, hey, you know what? They got a gospel message and they didn't even ask for it. And that's my goal.
We just don't want them to get stuck there.
I want them to come here to talk about fallen angels, but I want them to stay because they found Jesus.
We should find the people who did this and curse their families and watch as misfortune follows their bloodline for the next 7 generations. Okay, I see it now.
This is so creepy.
Go on, say what you got to say.
Toiling trouble, cauldron bubble.
Should we hold hands?
Ginger stubble. I smell a witch. What a weird thing to say. These two are very weird. And the younger one, She seems like she's gone off the, she seems like she's gone off the rail.
Pretty creepy, both characters, especially Aubrey. Everyone always backs her, all the fans back her and say it's just Aubrey being Aubrey, but we always know that they like to hide the truth within comedy, don't they?
And you don't know her anyway, she doesn't know you exist, so stop being a little MP. Stop being a non-playable character. So what do you think? Do you reckon this was comedy?
Wait a minute,
like
who was she threatening?
Like she's threatening someone, like producers.
Producers. Just go back and look at all her other strange
shenanigans
interviews. Especially at the...
Is applying for a job more like talking to your physician during a physical? And why do I say that? Because a young man that was trying to apply for a job could not believe the questions that were being asked on the application. Have a look at this for yourself.
Applying for a job, right? And tell me why. Wait, hold up. I ain't never seen some shit like this. Them niggas ask you if you sexually or if I'm gay, boss. Why do you want to know my business, nigga? Nigga, I don't even... They don't got straight ear? I don't even know what to pick, my nigga. Nah, bro, what I'm supposed to pick? I'm none of these shits, man.
And as you saw in the video, he explained he's basically just applying for a job. But yet there's a section there about his sexual orientation. And the question should be more of why are they asking what his sexual orientation is for a job application? And it's incredible to see some of the options that are listed when you do the drop-down menu. Many of them, a lot of us don't even know what they mean. And typically, employers are not supposed to ask you about your sexual orientation for a job interview or even filling out an application. Some states have even banned this practice. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Are you willing to answer those type of questions when you're applying for a job? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Now this is an absolutely brilliant video. Here is a clip of an Englishman confronting traitorous politicians in this country and telling them exactly how we feel. This man truly does speak for the entirety of Britain, and everything he says is 100% spot on. Just take a listen to this absolute destruction.
Let's not beat around the bush, okay? Everybody, I think, can agree with me that the biggest concern is everybody's welfare and safety. Now, don't take us for fools when you say that these people are refugees. We know they are illegal migrants. If these people were refugees, what are they fleeing from? It's very telling that we're never told what they are fleeing from. What wars are they fleeing from? What countries are they coming from? What are they fleeing? What persecution? We don't know. So we know that they're by definition illegal immigrants, which technically makes them criminals, and they should be treated as such. They shouldn't be put up in 5-star hotels. They should be in cells, and they should be told they are not leaving until they pay for their ticket back. So my question to you is not where are you going to shift them to in a year's time, how are you going to remove them from the country? And don't give me an excuse that, oh, there's the UN refugee document that we signed, or there's the European Court of Human Rights. We voted for Brexit. This is supposed to be a sovereign country. You could easily withdraw from any of those agreements, but you don't. Your party has failed time and time again. In 2010, David Cameron said he was going to get immigration down. How did that work out? We've got higher levels than Tony Blair, and it was his intention to flood this country with migrants on purpose. These people, not all of them, but some of them are going to go on to commit egregious crimes, rape, theft, murder, and there was a reason why the other day there was that ruckus in Kirkby, and we all know why it was, because a migrant was harassing a young girl. That is going to happen in Dunstable. It's going to happen in every single part of the country. You need to stop this now, or you're going to have a serious problem on your hands. Thank you.
Ask your question. Okay. We move straight to the next question, please.
Now that was absolutely brilliant, and the man talked nothing but absolute sense. But he will be considered for this speech far right. And guess what? He didn't even get a response. Because that is all the corrupt establishment and the left can do. Label you something like far right in order to browbeat you into silence. And if that doesn't work, if you are no longer afraid of those pathetic terms, then they will simply ignore you and hope the problem goes away. But here's the thing, the problem is never going to go away, because everything this man is saying is absolutely correct. And if we don't sort this country out, then we are all going to hell in a handbasket.
Let's talk about this video. This video has gone viral. It was captured by a couple of witnesses leaving a trail in Washington, and they recorded what appears to be A Bigfoot striding away. Take a look at this. Comment below. Let us know what you think.
LeBron suit. Oh, he's right there. Is it walking?
Yeah.
Yo. I see.
Sell mosquitoes coming in.
All right, so now I have to give my honest opinion. I don't believe this is real for a couple of factors. One, the videos that we have been able to capture, the arms are extremely long. Think hanging down below the knees. And then the stride is massive. From different stride prints that have been captured throughout the years, there's between 5 to 6 feet in one length, in one stride. And this thing appears to be walking normally as if it's a man in a gorilla suit or in some sort of suit. But watch it again, comment below, and let us know what you think.
LeBron suit. Oh, he's right there. Is it walking?
Yeah.
Yo. I see.
Sell mosquitoes coming in.
A new law just officially passed right now that legally makes your pet's family, and if you hurt them, you can now face up to 5 years in prison. So Virginia just unanimously passed a new bill that officially changes the legal status of cats and dogs from property to companion family members. Right now, in most states, if you didn't already know, your pet is actually legally treated the same as a chair or a TV. Virginia is about to change that. And here's where the entire thing gets crazy, because under this new law, anyone who maliciously wounds or ends a dog or cat's life will be charged with a Class 6 felony. This is going to be punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $2,500 fine. Before this new bill in Virginia, most animal cruelty cases were treated as misdemeanors with barely any consequences at all. And then this is the part that most people don't know about. The bill doesn't just increase punishments, it creates an entirely new legal category for pets. For the first time ever in history, this law would actually recognize the emotional bond between you and your animal. And right now, basically every other state is just sitting back and watching to see if it works. Do you think that every other state should follow along?
То самое чувство, когда идешь мимо магазина мяса и видишь вот такую ногу и думаешь, this is human, yes, bro? Human. Пакистан, пакистанец там, понятно. Нога пакистанца, нормально.
Something's going on in that video, bro. Sinbad just admitted that we did see the Shazam movie, not Kazam. He also said that it took a lot of mind control, allegedly. That's what he said. That doesn't mean that it's true. To make people forget about that movie or something like that. Then he said there's 3 copies left. And that if he or whoever he's talking about finds out who has those 3 copies, something about lights going out, maybe something about electricity or something. Now that video was so wild that I had to cut it. There was no way I was gonna let you hear what he was going to say. Something is up, guys. Look that video up for yourself. Sinbad says something absolutely wow. Maybe he was joking, but he wasn't laughing. Something is going on with this, guys, and they don't want us to know about that Shazam movie for whatever reason. And I think the reason is because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. This guy's a comedian. Come on, Sinbad is joking around. Ain't nobody looking for nobody with no Shazam movies. Bro, that was a long time ago. It's not that serious. I don't know what Sinbad is talking about. Let me know if you know what he's talking about.
Y'all are not ready for this one. Are the planets fallen angels? Well, the book of Enoch says that planets are the rebellious angels which were imprisoned for their disobedience. And the Bible itself doesn't even call them planets. It calls them wandering stars. That's actually where we get the word planet from the Greek planetes, meaning to wander. They are not fixed on the firmament like the other stars, but all go on their own path. So NASA gives us fake CGI composites of what these planets supposedly look like. But if we look through a telescope, we can see they look nothing like what they show us. And what's interesting is all these planets are named after Roman deities or false gods. The days of the week are also named after the planets. And I believe these false gods are the fallen angels. And the Earth isn't included in these wandering stars because, as we should all know by now, the Earth is not a planet. It is a realm. And the planets are the celestial bodies that move above us. Now we know according to scripture, Stars are angels, and angels are stars, which are placed within our firmament. Go see my video on that if you haven't already. In Jude, it literally confirms that the planets are the fallen. It talks about rebellious angels which left their first estate, meaning their original origin, but left their own habitation, where they dwelled, and they were reserved in everlasting chains until Judgment Day. But wait, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, these angels were giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh. Strange as in different. This is what we're told in the beginning of Genesis, fallen angels mating with women. Then in verse 13, we see wandering stars are reserved to the blackness of darkness forever, aka outer space. Enoch is even referenced as prophesizing this at the end here. And what does the book of Enoch say? Well, just like in Genesis, 200 angels, or stars, lusted after these women. They went after strange flesh and descended down onto Mount Hermon to first swear an oath and then take them as wives. You see how they always show us the truth in plain sight? So Enoch goes on to say that he sees 7 stars, like great blazing mountains, like spirits. 7 stars. And one of the angels he's with tells him that this place will be the prison of the stars for their disobedience. And because they came down before it was their time, God bound them until the day of the age. So here we have literal confirmation from Jude about these fallen angels or stars being imprisoned. Mythology is not a myth, and all this propaganda, all this hype about traveling to Mars. 70 years later and we've never been because we're never going. They want us to go where the fallen are. Remember, NASA means to deceive through uplifting. And the reason to lie is simple. Worldwide governments falsifying where you live is the epitome of mind control. To discover beyond a doubt that we are the center of creation will deepen your relationship with God, validate the Bible is true, and destroy the very power and control systems they put into place. And it would stop NASA from taking $75 million a day of taxpayer money. Wouldn't that be great?
There's a drone that launches itself the second a camera flags your car, chases it at 60 miles an hour, and then scans your license plate from 2,000 feet in the air. Flock just made it real. It's called Alpha. It sits in a weatherproof box, and when the ground cameras flag a hit, it takes off on its own, no pilot, and it's airborne in seconds. It's equipped with thermal cameras, laser rangefinders, and it streams live to cops, and it often gets there before the squad car does. And keep in mind, this doesn't replace the flock cameras that are already bolted to poles in 5,000 police agencies. It's the layer on top of them. The poles were version 1, and the sky was version 2. 1984 opens up with a detail that most people forget. Police helicopters drifting between buildings, hovering at people's windows, and looking in. Flock just shipped that as a product, but this time they fly themselves, and they never get bored. Companies like Flock are the exact motivation behind the project I'm building called Paranoia. It scores every company you use based off of how much of your privacy and data they give away, the fine print you agree to but never read, and it's all backed up with the receipts to prove it in just one place. You can check it out through the link in my bio, but as always, think about it, let me know what you think.
December 1st, you and I will be automatically placed in the Selective Service Draft. For the past 60 years, you have had to volunteer and register yourself for the draft. Because of a law passed earlier this year, the draft registration is now automatic, and it takes place December 1st. If you are an American citizen aged 18 to 26, you will be registered automatically. Just 4 weeks after the midterm elections, and after Trump said he can outweigh Iran, you will be eligible for the draft. And because it's automatic, if they come to your door and say you've been drafted, you legally have no way to fight back or tell them no. And in December, this takes place 1 month before the American-Israeli Military Integration Act in 2027. We are going to be automatically registered for the military draft 1 month after the elections for the first time in history, and 1 month before the American and Israeli militaries merge. You can look up all of this. It is all true, and we are now running out of time. I don't have an answer. If they enact the draft, we are automatically registered. End of story.
Yeah, there's Drumpf. You're fucking dying.
Something is going on with Ariana Grande, bro. Straight up. You seen the video, guys. People are saying that it's red paint. That it's okay. Something is up. She walked in the room, everybody got excited. They started jumping for joy. Something is going on in that video, guys, and I know nothing about it. I don't know why she has red paint on her. People are saying that it could possibly be food coloring. Shut up. Something is up in that video, and something's been going on with Ariana Grande for a long time, guys. I can't figure this out. Nobody seems to figure it out. People are saying that she was replaced. What you mean to say is that she was replaced with a better version of herself. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. Everything is red and black. Everything seems off in this video, guys. But of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. As always, guys, this is art. All right? Maybe they're doing an art show. Something is up. Of course, I don't know what it is. Let me know if you know what it is. I'm out.
Listen up. 6G can see through walls and measure heartbeat. It says the new 6G mobile communication standard is supposed to be able to detect people through walls and even measure heart rate and breathing. Data protection advocates are raising the alarm. But let's dig a little deeper than that. You have to ask yourself, what type of technology do you have to have within your body to be a 6G antenna? Y'all remember this article, right? Scientists want to use people as antennas to power 6G. It says researchers at the University of Massachusetts Amherst believe using humans as part of the antenna system offers the most efficient way to harvest waste energy. In the process, humans could wear coiled copper. But you have to ask yourself, I wonder if graphene could be the equivalent of copper to make you a 6G antenna. And well, this study says that it can. Silver graphene oxide nanocomposites for wearable antenna. So I wonder in what ways they can put graphene into humans. Definitely could come from the chemtrails. We already know it's in the food we eat. And don't worry, they put it in the water too. But there's also one more thing. Here's the patents for the you know what. It doesn't just go out and say there's graphene in it, but what is the definition for graphene? Graphene is a one-atom thick planar sheet of carbon atoms that are densely packed in a honeycomb crystal lattice. If you look at page 135 of section 232, there's these two little words called iron oxides, which is a derivative of graphene oxide. So yes, these combined with the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, fills all of our bodies up to be superconductive antennas. Welcome to 6G, where iron mixes with clay.
Welcome to the Great Reset, or what I like to call the Great Re-Shit. That's where they take some old shit, dust it off, and repurpose it as new shit. Now, you may have heard of the Great Reset by one of its more familiar names, like Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, or my personal favorite, the New World Order. And don't be fooled by the term reset, because they don't plan on resetting anything. A reset is when your Super Mario game glitches, so you take out the cartridge, you blow in it, you stick it back in, and boom, up pops Mario again. This is kind of like that, except when you turn the game back on, instead of Mario on your screen, it's Bowser coming out of the TV to murder your grandma. We're talking about the complete transformation of humanity into a godless transhumanist nightmare from Orwellian hell. I want to direct your attention to the World Economic Forum, who created this demonic plan, and more specifically to their chief, Klaus Schwab. Now, Mr. Schwab likes to throw around a lot of buzzwords to convince the masses that this agenda is for the betterment of humanity. Words like sustainability and inclusivity and equality for all. But in his 2016 book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, he's a lot more candid about the elitist plan for world domination. Let's skim through some excerpts from this literary masterpiece, shall we? The tools of the Fourth Industrial Revolution enable new forms of surveillance and other means of control that run counter to healthy open societies. Oh, well, that sounds helpful. Public crime is likely to decrease due to the convergence of sensors, cameras, AI, and facial recognition software. These technologies can intrude into the hitherto private space of our minds, reading our thoughts and influencing our behavior. Sounds a lot like mind control, but that's a conspiracy, so it can't be. As capabilities in this area improve, the temptation for law enforcement agencies and courts to use techniques to determine the likelihood of criminal activity, assess guilt, or even possibly retrieve memories directly from people's brains will increase. Even crossing a national border might one day involve a detailed brain scan to assess an individual's security risk. And last but definitely not least, the future will challenge our understanding of what it means to be human from both a biological and a social standpoint. Better call up Sarah Connor. Now, unless you've been microdosing sedatives for the past 8 months, I'm sure you've realized by now that the CV-19 pandemic was manufactured to kickstart this agenda. And if you haven't noticed, congratulations. There's a very good chance that you'll escape vaporization. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. But the invisible boogeyman narrative won't hold up forever, and the WEF is well aware of that. That's why they have a backup crisis to carry the agenda home. What crisis would that be? That's right, you guessed it, our good old friend, global warming. For those of you who don't know, global warming is a manufactured crisis created by the Club of Rome, a crisis think tank created in 1968 in order to convince the masses to agree to their own demise. So be prepared to hear about all the sacrifices you're gonna have to make in order to save the planet. Sacrifices like giving up your property rights, being forced into smart cities, and being injected with nanotechnology so they can track you down for thought crimes. Now, why anyone in their right mind would think it's a good idea to give the very elitists who destroyed the planet more power to now save the planet is beyond me, but hey, we're talking about the same species who eats Tide Pods and thinks polyester can protect you from a virus.
Click on that, Jamie. You heard about this before? Each one of those stones on the Great Pyramid, although they look from a distance or from a photo on Google almost identical, when you're standing there, you can see that each stone is individually cut to fit specifically in the location that it's at, which means that you can't have a cookie cutter system where you create 2 million stones and just start dropping them into place every few minutes. You literally have to absolutely create each stone specifically for the location it needs to be in. Imagine getting a stone halfway up that structure and then finding out you didn't cut it right or it doesn't fit properly. These people built the Great Pyramid because they knew exactly what they were doing. They had done this before and they had the blueprint on exactly how.
Will Israelis be given free land in Australia so they can build a military-industrial base while Australians can't even afford to buy a home in their own country? A proposition is being made in Australia that would give Israelis free land so they can build military drones and advanced weapon systems in Australia. And the proposition is being made by billionaire Gina Rinehart, and she is pushing hard to hand over prime land near Townsville, Queensland, to Israeli defense companies and their families, offering them not just free land, but also free transportation. And all of this while Australians are struggling to afford their own homes. This isn't an isolated incident. Similar complaints are coming in from all over the world, like Cyprus, Thailand, Argentina, and across Latin America, where Israelis are accused of buying up huge amounts of land just to create their own enclaves, pushing locals out in the process.
Tomar no cu, caralho! Porra! Puta que pariu, caralho! Tomar no cu, porra!
Predictive programming is everywhere, and this is exactly how they get away with it. I'm gonna play 2 sounds, and after you hear the second one, you're never gonna be able to hear the first sound the same way again. It will permanently change the way you hear. So here's the first.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
A weird jumble of robotic sounds with no meaning, but that's exactly what predictive programming wants you to believe. You're not supposed to understand what you just heard, but that sound sent a subliminal message into your subconscious which knows exactly what it is. You see, your subconscious mind works a little differently than your conscious one, in that it doesn't need to understand the context of input in order to internalize and process it. Now, the second sound is going to awaken that message like a sleeper agent and bring it from your subconscious mind into your conscious mind, and you will now be aware of what that message was. Here it is.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
And that right there is the key to unlock this message. Because now, here's that first sound again.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
Now you can hear it. It sounds completely different because you were given the key to decode that message with the second sound. This is exactly what predictive programming is. Your mind is constantly trying to predict what's coming next, and that's exactly what it's doing when it's listening to that first sound again. Your own thoughts are constantly getting subconsciously persuaded by the sights and sounds we are perpetually exposed to, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter if you're not consciously paying attention to that song or whatever's playing in the background. Your subconscious mind is internalizing it all the same. Now, this was a fairly innocent example. A sunny day and children going to the park isn't exactly a dangerous message, unless you're Epstein. But now imagine this on a mass scale in the music you listen to, the ads that are put in front of you, the TV shows, movies, and content that you watch, subconsciously programming you to normalize things that certain people want to have normalized. And when you're exposed to this predictive programming over and over again, it can literally alter your brain and the way you process thoughts. So now, the next time your mind tries to predict what's next, that prediction isn't your own, but one that's been planted into your mind unknowingly. And when you listen to that first sound at the beginning of this video again, it's never going to sound.
Heads up, the United States of America officially has the first deaths from the explosive diarrhea causing parasite Cyclospora. The Michigan Department of Health has announced that 2 people have died from cyclosporasis, which is the infection from Cyclospora. Cyclospora is the parasite that causes explosive diarrhea. For folks across the country, there are over 11,000 cases confirmed. Now, the state in a release says that cyclosporasis doesn't normally lead to death. Death is very uncommon, which it is. But it could lead to death because explosive diarrhea can lead to severe dehydration among folks. Right now, there are more than 11,000 foodborne illness cases confirmed in Michigan alone. 193 people have been hospitalized, according to the press release, and there are cases in 45 states across the United States of America, thousands of cases nationwide, and now we have the 2 first confirmed deaths from cyclosporasis. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, spread the word and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need.
Why did they stop using Zeppelins? 100% because of one crash. They don't do that with planes. They didn't do that with trains. They didn't do that with cars because it didn't run on oil. They were viable. They'd go across the ocean. It was just another form of travel, but it wasn't controlled by the oil-only mafia. So at the time, it was helium that they used for blimps. Helium is non-flammable. The US government had a monopoly on helium, and they refused to export it to Germany, who made the blimps. So the Germans said, okay, we're going to still use the blimps. We got to use the blimps. We built the blimps. We're using the blimps. So they decided to put hydrogen in the blimps instead. Hydrogen's flammable. So then there's reports of somebody who saw the Hindenburg that day. He said that he saw a spark shoot at it. They shot an incendiary round and they shot it down. And it lit on fire because they were using a fuel that they had to use because of the US monopoly.
Hey, check this out.
Does everybody have a box? All right. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
This is from the iconic episode on September 13th, 2004. Oprah Winfrey gave away 276 Pontiac G6 sedans. All remember this cultural moment where everyone in her audience got a brand new car. A lot of people online are noticing something and calling this a Mandela effect. As you see in the video, everybody got boxes. You hear her say it. Everybody gets a box. A lot of people remember that the keys were actually under the seat, not in the box. This moment was etched into everybody's memory because it's never been done before. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. We all remember this moment. A lot of people, including myself, remember this moment, but remember Oprah saying, look underneath your seat. And that's where the keys were. Is this misremembering or is this a Mandela effect? I distinctly remember this moment in Oprah saying, look underneath your seat. As of right now, in this timeline, everybody got a box and everybody pulled their keys out of the box. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I remember them pulling those keys from underneath their chair. Let me know. I could be tripping on this one. Let me know. It's us.
The Firmament, Finding the Truth. Please pause and read. At this point, we've taken a look at lots of evidence showing the true nature of creation, how the earth is fixed, immovable, with a solid firmament covering the earth, and how the sun, moon, and stars are the ones moving around the earth, just as the Bible says. And hopefully, you're beginning to see that our observations about creation aligns perfectly with what the Bible says, further showing that the Word of God is true and reliable. Now, let's take a look at a very interesting major end times event that the Bible tells us will happen in the future, which directly relates to the sun. This scripture we're going to look at will further indicate and give us no doubt that God is clear that the sun is close to us within the firmament, and the sun is the one running its circuit around the fixed, immovable earth. When God's judgment is being poured out on a sinful and rebellious world, one of the judgments he will bring is this: Revelation 8:12 says the fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them turned dark. A third of the day was without light, and also a third of the night. So when this judgment takes place, a third of the day will be turned to darkness. So think about how many hours we have in the day right now. When 33% of the sun is struck, the earth will have 33% less daytime, since a third of the sun will be dark and not give off light for the region that God strikes. Now this is where things get very interesting. So remember, the Bible says a third of the day is going to be without any light. But on the solar system model, if you struck 33% of the sun and the earth is orbiting along that darkened part of the sun that was struck, you wouldn't experience a third of the day being without light. Instead, you would have 4 complete months of darkness. Because remember, the way the solar system model works is that the earth not only spins, but it's also orbiting around the sun. So if there's 12 months in a year and you struck 33% of the sun, that would be 4 complete months of darkness when you're on that side of the sun. Even though the earth is spinning on that side of the sun that was struck, there's still no sunlight being given off on that side, so it would be about 122 days of total darkness on earth. But the Bible says that only a third of the day will be without light, not 4 complete months of darkness. So now let's see how this Bible verse actually works on the biblical cosmology model. Remember, the sun and the moon are the ones running their circuits around the earth. So if a third of the sun were struck on this model, you really would have a third of the day being turned to darkness and without light, just as the Bible says. We know there's 24 hours within a day, so if 33% of the sun is struck, that would now leave you with an additional 8 hours of darkness as the sun moves around the earth, since the sun will not have any light on the third region where it was struck. Hopefully, now when you read this verse, it starts to make more sense and that this illustration gives you a clear view and understanding of how this verse can actually be seen to work and become a reality during future end times events. What this is showing us is that when you begin to see the world through the lens of biblical cosmology, the Bible comes more alive than ever before, and you begin to see that the Bible says what it says and it means what it means. And that's exactly where we're heading in the next video. We will be taking a look at how the truth of biblical cosmology makes certain stories of the Bible come more alive than ever before and make more sense. We will cover topics like the flood, the Tower of Babel, stars falling to the earth, every eye seeing Jesus when he returns, and more on part 19 of The Firmament, Finding the Truth.
So you don't see he started this shit with the black gloves. Last time he had the black gloves on. I just now noticed that I wasn't the word. That means I started in danger.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'm in danger. Next question, let's get this shit over with.
All right. What about 50 Cent getting some flowers from old P. Diddy? Were they funeral flowers? Was it the friendly gift? What's going on with that?
Promotion. Listen, let me tell you this, right?
That was funeral flowers.
That was promotion. That was promotion. Let me tell you this, right? Listen. Everybody want to say this, but 50 Cent, he's a marketing guru. You remember when Diddy did what he did, he had an event and everybody died in a stampede and then he got famous, right? 50 Cent learned from who? The master. Everybody learned from who? The master. Diddy is the master of entertainment, right? Don't say bad about Diddy, but you can't say something bad about 50. Who you know that started with 50 that's still with 50 right now besides that that came from the jail? And you could buy that with mackerel. Yayo, the only nigga that stayed with 50 because he could buy Yayo for a mackerel, right? A mackerel and some tuna fish, like that. He good. I told mama, listen, and everybody know this. Listen, 50 Cent, he sure got a big booty though. That motherfucker swole as a bitch. Listen, if 50 gay, do 50 take dick? If he gay, you ever heard that before?
Child monster. Now look, when monsters see you, I ain't gonna get in the way. Foes grave.
Who is monster?
That's 50 security.
I'm not, listen, monster, I love you. I got no problem with you. Listen, that's what everybody want to do. I'm talking about 50. Listen, I went down. Listen, me personally, I was upset with 50 when I saw Buck. Right, listen, I took a trip. Right, I took a trip down to the south.
Level.
Right, and I had to go see Buck. Listen, when I seen Buck, he had on a fake wig, gang. 50 made him lose all his hair. Right, and now he got to put on a stitching wig like 69. Stop playing on me. Look, listen, so when you talk about 50 Cent left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, even his baby mama. That's the only reason why he mad at Diddy, because Diddy was all up in his baby mama like this.
He got more than one baby mama. We talked about this right here, bro. If you see me right here, you can't be doing.
I wasn't doing that for real. That wasn't real. I forgot why I'm doing real.
Next time you do that, I'm throwing you off this couch.
I won't do it no more. Listen, don't ask me. Listen, matter of fact, don't ask me nothing about Diddy, man, because like I don't really be with Diddy for real, man. Or my mama, listen.
That's your boy.
No, I don't with Diddy for real, gang. I don't support nothing Diddy do. Right? I ain't never supported nothing Diddy had. All right? I don't give a fuck about Diddy.
What is that? Don't, bro. Listen, bro. You know what? Hey.
No, I ain't.
Go ahead.
This
Go
ain't
ahead.
for me.
Go ahead.
This ain't for me.
Go ahead.
I would never use this. Why would I put this on me?
ahead.
I wouldn't put this on me.
You've been warned, for. I warned you.
That's why I can't.
I warned you.
I can't.
Don't delete this.
So I can't. You telling me I can't? I can't. Listen, gang, look at my knees. They talk about my knees all the time, gang. I'm trying to arm my knees, he tripping. See what I'm saying? You bringing up Diddy. Listen, next question, gang. I can't even use baby oil around no more, right? Listen, they didn't make baby oil a problem now.
Man.
Listen, next question, gang. Listen, I'm this way.
Why you got that?
I gotta use it. They can see my knees. I was trying to get ready.
So you gonna moisturize yourself and I'm right here?
No.
At least I wasn't gonna take the top off.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Hell no, I ain't finna get